Welcome to the case analysis of Marriott International presented to you by the Strategic Queens. Our group members and their roles are as follows. Runa Chatterjee will introduce the study, talk about vision and mission statements, and discuss the internal factor evaluation. Tiffany Davila will present the external factor evaluation. Chloe Champagne will explain you the strategy formulation. And finally, Erica Cruz will talk about strategy implementation, evaluation, and conclude the analysis for us. J.W. Marriott opened Marriott International in 1927 that began as a 9-seat A&W root beer stand. By 1953, it became a publicly traded company. Since 1990s, Marriott has continued to grow globally by acquiring other hotel chains. At the end of 2021, the CEO, Anthony Capuano, reported total earnings of $13,857 million US. Marriott International invests heavily in its associates. Diversity and inclusion are central to its business plans. Marriott International is unique in the sense that it publishes a core value statement instead of a vision and mission statement. According to David and David, a vision statement answers the question, what do we want to become? And provides a foundation for a mission statement. It should be a single statement and people in any part of the world should be able to relate to it. And most importantly, it should be written with a customer perspective. Our proposed vision statement for Marriott is derived from the Business Model and Sustainability Strategy 2015 document. We are focused on our journey to become the world's favorite travel company for everyone we interact with, from our guests to our owners and franchisees, to our shareholders and associates, as we put people first, pursue excellence, embrace change, act with integrity, and serve our world. According to David and David, a mission statement of a company should be broad enough to include diverse stakeholders and specific at the same time, so as to declare the company's plans and attitudes. Following the 9 components of a mission statement, as recommended by David and David, core value statement can be made more effective by including the missing components such as products and services, technology, survival, and concern for employees. Following is a revised core value statement which can be an appropriate mission statement for the company. Our core values make us who we are and define the basis of our hospitality. As we adapt to the emerging technology to change and grow, the beliefs that are most important to us stay the same. Putting people first, pursuing excellence, embracing change, acting with integrity, and serving our world. Being part of Marriott International means being part of a proud history and a thriving culture in which every employee has opportunities to grow and serve our customers and neighbors. David and David emphasize on the identification of strengths and weaknesses to assess how a company is doing in its internal areas. We identified several areas where Marriott International is undoubtedly leading the hotel industry. Marriott has more than 4,100 managed and franchise properties, and it continues its expansion by acquiring big names like Starwood and Sheraton. Diversity, inclusion, and innovation are central to its policy building. Its sensitivity to local culture and environment makes Marriott a respectable entity in foreign lands. This organization is using technology to bolster its operations and increase its popularity amongst the guests. For example, Marriott introduced a meeting app called Redcode Direct that enables meeting organizers to edit their meeting preferences without ever having to leave the room. Besides targeting Europe and Asia, Marriott is on track to double its presence in African countries. Part of profitability projection is done based on future expansion of business. Unforeseen circumstances such as COVID, change in local laws, competition by local brand of hotels, disruption of supply chain, etc., have an adverse effect on the growth and sustenance of the hotel industry. Marriott International also faced a setback when its customer data was compromised, which led to decrease in customer confidence. Marriott International does not allow cancellations within 24 hours of check-in time, and that discourages people, especially if their plans are tentative. Marriott's business plans include a substantial portion of franchisees and licensees and does run the risk of compromise of their brand name.
The hospitality industry in the United States has been growing, with the rising number of international travelers visiting the country for leisure trips, and with the rising business travel within the country, as well as the expansion of American hotel chains into the global market. Marriott International's major competitors include Intercontinental Hotels Group, Wyndham Hotel and Resorts, Choice Hotels International Incorporated, Hyatt Hotels Corporation, Hilton Worldwide, Best Western Hotels and Resorts, Radisson Hotel Group, G6 Hospitality, Aimbridge Hospitality, and OYO Rooms. In order to start our investigation into Marriott International, we created a competitive profile matrix comparing Marriott to two of its strongest competitors in the categories of advertising, market penetration, customer service, store locations, research and development, employee dedication, financial profit, customer loyalty, market share, product quality, top management, and price competitiveness. The CPM of Marriott International highlights product quality, store locations, advertising, and market penetration to be its major strengths. Price competitiveness and customer loyalty are more highly rated for its rivals. In order to stay competitive in the marketplace, Marriott must take steps to retain its existing customers and earn new ones by offering attractive loyalty rewards. Acquiring corporate businesses can also provide a stable and growing client base if Marriott can agree upon a special contracted rate that will benefit the corporation as well as maintain its room occupancies. Marriott can accelerate their growth if they successfully exploit available opportunities and trends in the market. Due to the nature of the hospitality industry, there are several external trends that impact the business. According to David & David 2017, an external factor evaluation matrix can be used to determine and analyze external trends that may affect a company, including, but not limited to, economic, social, governmental, and legal factors. Companies have no control over these factors, and examining them can improve understanding of a company's future needs. There were several threats and opportunities identified for Marriott International. One of the largest opportunities that Marriott has identified on the EFE matrix is technology. Technology is a giant resource that Marriott International can make use of, allowing guests to have a more streamlined and personal experience. Establishing connectivity to various databases from other businesses would let the marketing department build a strong customer base profile and be able to offer customized options for future reservations. Knowledge sharing with the public via partnerships with TED Talks can help infiltrate areas where growth has been slow. Social media platforms are increasingly becoming popular, and Marriott has the opportunity to advertise its new and existing offerings on these. Another opportunity Marriott International has is to utilize the global expansion of businesses, political relations between nations, and increasing trend of overseas tourism to its benefit. Capturing the population who work remotely by offering an easy and inexpensive getaway with good broadband and connectivity and proper furnishings inside the room or lounge areas is an opportunity for business. External threats for a company must be accounted for while preparing a strategic plan. These factors can derail a company if provisions are not made to minimize their impact on the organization. These are negative circumstances in the foreseeable future that might lead to losses for a company. Shermack and Kashana, 2007. While international markets are a lucrative area for growth for the hotel industry, expansion of Marriott International is adversely affected by local operators. Local brands are able to offer lower cost accommodation. They have familiar partnerships with supply chain entities and can afford to be much more flexible than a five-star multinational hotel. Only those customers will choose Marriott over local brands who are corporate guests or have the ability to spend a large amount of money to stay at the Marriott. Online booking engines make the market extremely competitive by offering matching prices for all hotels on the same page. Hotels are becoming creative in offering packages to their customers such as free airport pickups and drop-offs, local sightseeing, etc. at very affordable prices, while compromising on the quality of services. Marriott, for the most part, does not cut costs to include extra services. Labor market disruptions have always been a surprise factor that affects functioning and planning in the hotel industry. Natural disasters, local political disturbances, and the job market can make smooth operation difficult and lead to unplanned losses. Changes in the local laws of the land requires pivoting of policies and procedures which may act as a setback. While Marriott International is using technology to make its processes seamless, friendlier, and more accessible, it also comes with a potential security threat related to mobile devices. Another threat that the hotel industry faces is the fluctuation of RevPAR all over the world, especially in the Asian subcontinent where RevPAR has fallen in the last few years. The identified threats and opportunities were utilized to begin a strategic plan that supports future success for the company, as well as suggesting strategic recommendations that will ensure Marriott International is prepared for the future.
Now we will talk about Marriott's strategy formulation based on a SWOT analysis and BCG matrix. A SWOT analysis is an essential framework for driving continuous improvement and growth within an organization. By identifying strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats, an organization is better equipped to create actionable plans for growth. According to David and David, the SWOT can provide a baseline of an organization's internal strengths and external opportunities. The purpose of the SWOT is not to provide proven action items for guaranteed success. Rather, it is utilized to provide a list of possible actions, ideas, and strategies to further explore and cultivate into strategies and goals. According to Cosby, one key component of an effective SWOT is using the threats and weaknesses of an organization to identify areas of opportunity and improvement as opposed to other analysis tools that focus solely on positive components. Several strength and opportunity strategies focused on expansion and social media presence. One strategy highlighted the need for a strong social media campaign, while another strategy leveraged social media to solicit ideas and add experiences in low growth markets. Marriott's technology and customer service departments will create a user friendly application with fully functional capabilities. Their new application could be promoted on all social media platforms. Their new social media presence and application would generate an increase in bookings by at least 3%. Next, strengths and threats were combined to develop strategies. The strategies focused on the employees and customers. One strategy focused on growing the Asian presence, while another strategy suggested the development of a marketing campaign. According to David and David, the Chinese market is known for mostly luxury level rooms. For this reason, Marriott's global operations team will develop a plan to increase the number of mid-level rooms in the Chinese market. This would create affordable lodging and generate more revenue. Additionally, Marriott would expect a 25% increase in mid-level rooms across the Chinese market. The third objective combined Marriott's weaknesses and opportunities. The strategies focus primarily on expansion and customer service. One strategy would utilize technology and social media to provide customers with company principles and a better experience. Marriott will partner with UNICEF to expand its properties in the sub-Saharan African region. Those areas are greatly affected by Ebola and would benefit from community resources. The expansion would provide more resources and access to medical and educational facilities for local African families in areas where Marriott properties are located. The last objective combined Marriott's weaknesses and threats. The strategies focused on building a strong marketing team that assesses company standards, labor laws, and underperforming markets. One strategy would develop a stable and user-friendly digital interface, while another strategy would negotiate corporate financial terms. Marriott will expand its properties in India. India was plagued with infrastructure problems that limited Marriott's opportunity to grow in the region. The expansion would utilize franchising opportunities to establish Marriott-owned properties. The properties would replace existing Indian hotel chains and decrease the infrastructure. The BCG matrix is used by businesses to analyze the divisions of the company. Additionally, the matrix identifies market share positions and the industry growth rate. The case analysis team divided the Marriott organization into two divisions, managed and franchised. The BCG shows that Marriott has well-established franchises, but the market isn't growing. Additionally, the matrix shows managing as well-established with many opportunities. Marriott has difficulty gaining profit from timeshares. They have low market growth and share. Finally, residences, owned and leased properties are questionable. Marriott needs to consider several factors to determine if the investment is beneficial.
After establishing objectives, primary and secondary recommendations have been put in place along with timelines for implementation. First, Marriott should focus on expanding its global properties and leverage high tourist areas around the world. With 3 of the 4 objectives identified from the SWOT focused on global expansion and growth, Marriott will need to focus a large amount of its efforts, investments, and time on this area. The timeline for expansion in China, Sub-Saharan Africa, and India will be between 9 months and 3 years. During this time, implementation will look like establishing more mid-level rooms in China, opening hotels in Africa while also increasing humanitarian aid, and investing in pre-existing properties in India by way of franchise or buyout. Marriott can expect to see a compound growth rate of around 25% through this global initiative. The secondary recommendation for Marriott will be to create a mobile application for guests to utilize from the start of their hotel experience until checkout. Not only does this align with their goal of establishing a strong social media presence, it will also provide hotel guests with an easy and convenient tool to stay connected at all times during their stay. While competitors begin to refine and improve upon their mobile application functions, it's imperative that Marriott continue to work towards the phone as a key component. While Marriott has already utilized the mobile application as a method of booking rooms and checking in early, they need to focus primarily on addressing security issues that are preventing the phone as a key option from being available to guests. During this timeline of 9 months to 2 years, the mobile application functions should also be expanded to include property maps, options to add and pay for extra services, and a digital guest comment card. These extra functions, in addition to the ability to search for available rooms and booking services, will create ease of use for guests, with an expected growth of 3% increases in booking rates. Recommended annual objectives and policies should include quarterly reviews that should be conducted and include input from all stakeholders, as well as an assessment on progress towards their goal mastery. The results from these should be shared with all Marriott executives and directors to guide their daily decision-making and implementation. By establishing progress check-ins and writing this formative practice into policy, the organization will have continuous feedback and data to reflect upon. Marriott will also need to closely monitor the countries and territories identified in the SWOT for potential threats such as infrastructure issues in India and disease such as Ebola in Africa. By staying on top of these trends and increasing threats, Marriott will be able to maneuver around these and instead find an opportunity to increase its global awareness and action. Annual objectives and policies should include a global initiative that provides aid, training, education, and healthcare to the global communities that Marriott is expanding into. Partnering annually with organizations such as UNICEF to give back to communities it plans to profit from should be an expectation written into policy for every year that global expansion is an organizational objective. Finally, although not identified in the objectives, the SWOT did indicate that Marriott has made progress in its hiring of women in executive level positions. To continue diversifying and presenting employment opportunities to females and to people of color, Marriott should create an annual objective dedicated to increasing the number of female or racially diverse employees through education, franchising, and professional development geared towards these underrepresented populations. Marriott should continue to expand upon its diversity and inclusion initiatives already in place as indicated on its Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion website. Considering strategies for review and evaluation, Ebner and Smith advise that organizations take their time to do their homework, with the SWOT analysis being just one piece. Marriott will need to gain the input of all stakeholders, from employees to guests, reflect on past and current practices, and conduct a strategic assessment. These must all be considered as key components for continuous improvement. Input can be gathered through a variety of tools, such as surveys, focus groups, individual interviews, and guest comment cards. This ensures every stakeholder has a voice and a personal connection to the goals and objectives that are created. Next, Marriott must be reflective on what worked and what didn't in the past, and currently in the present. Only through hindsight will the organization be able to look ahead. Setting quarterly check-ins on progress made towards organizational goals and revision of action items that are not showing growth or improvement will allow Marriott to use real-time data as an indicator of what's working and what isn't. Finally, a strategic assessment will provide unbiased, expert-based data and research to evaluate the progress made on the objectives and goals in the strategic plan. The investment to conduct strategic assessment will pay off through its function to identify external and internal factors not easily identified by those who are directly impacted or associated with Marriott's practices. During this process, external auditors and reviewers would also be able to provide invaluable feedback and strategies for moving Marriott forward. Both short-term and long-term goals must be reviewed and evaluated. The best strategy for accomplishing this would be to utilize a balanced scorecard. Using a balanced scorecard strategy will allow Marriott to assess its continuous improvement work without focusing solely on financial gains. While financial growth is crucial, Marriott's SWOT has identified many areas of opportunity and growth that can be measured in a variety of ways using non-financial criteria. It considers all aspects of the organization, including its vision, mission, and core beliefs. A balanced scorecard for Marriott should include the areas of finance, customers and guests, internal processes, and global operations. Marriott International is a leader in the global lodging industry. With more than 8,000 properties in 139 countries and countless achievement awards, they are not only a well-known but also a well-liked brand. Marriott grew by nearly 51,000 rooms in locations outside of the US and Canada in 2021. Marriott continuously looks for innovative ways to improve upon the brands they have, acquire new properties, and make sound investment for the company, while also contributing to humanitarian efforts and equity initiatives. After conducting a strategic plan analysis, high leverage objectives that will support continuous improvement include focusing on global expansion and improving their current mobile application. We hope this presentation on Marriott's strategic plan has been informative. We truly appreciate the time and attention that you have given us this evening.